everybody, and as you can see we are in the Timbavati river and we have managed to find the same pride of lions that we had last night on the show. They've given us a bit of a run around this morning looking for them. We've searched several areas, couldn't find their tracks leaving this riverbed, and then returned to the exact position we were last night to find the lions. They have not moved at all. You can see the mother of one of the small ones lying there, that little one. I don't know if it's suckling or if it's just sleeping. It looks like it might just be sleeping there. Looks like it's the little male. You can see they're all relaxing this morning. It is beautiful in the riverbed. There's a nice amount of shade for them and nice and cool in the sand as well. So a really good spot for them to have spent the night and the morning as well. They didn't move last night too much, so they would have rested pretty much the whole night as well. The youngsters probably played about throughout the evening, and this morning they are resting. Very cute. Look. You can see the 1-year-old youngsters have now become quite accustomed to having the much smaller cubs around, and have got used to them and not too playful and inquisitive of them anymore. Beautiful to still have the Timbavati river flowing. It is just a trickle now, so I don't think it's going to be flowing for too much longer unless we do get one last burst of rain. See, that little lion has positioned itself right next to the flowing water. Looks like it's licking its paws, maybe trying to groom a little bit. Very, very cute. At the stage where they will start to eat meat. They tend to start feeding on meat at about 10 weeks old, and these cubs are just under 10 weeks. So they would have maybe fed on, no, they did feed on Orgulho's carcass about 2 weeks ago, but more so than fed, they just played with the tail and some of the fur. But Yapi did see one of them trying to feed on the carcass, and that carcass yesterday, I'm sure with those Ross males on it, the youngsters didn't get too much of an opportunity to feed there. But that won't be an issue for them because they'll still be able to drink mom's milk. That will suffice them as well. Oh, rolling over. Whilst this very peaceful setting that we managed to find this morning. Nest lying in the sun, and I think that is the mother of the two older youngsters, if I'm not mistaken, or it might actually be a sub-adult. And she seems to be quite content in the sun. The rest of them are all in the shade, so I'm pretty certain that that lioness is going to get quite hot in not too long, and then she might stand up and move. There's one of the other youngsters is up and moving towards us. There's the young male of the 1-year-old. Look at that belly. Very, very full from yesterday's meal. It's always easier. I mean, the cubs have much smaller stomachs than the adults, so they don't need to eat as much to fill their bellies up. It's always a good sign when you find a pride of lions and there are youngsters around, especially youngsters like that are now weaned and have finished suckling and are now feeding just on meat. If they get a decent meal, they fill their tummy up very, very quickly and very full. Lots and lots of bird activity around us this morning. I can't see too many of them, but I can hear lots of them. There's some oxpeckers flying over us, and southern carmine bee-eaters that I can hear calling as well as that being a common summitable. grabbing onto one of the subadult's tails. So Karen, these lions and all lions in the bush don't mind which meat they end up eating. They do prefer to eat fresher meat, so meat that they do catch themselves. However, they're not very picky. So whether it's from a buffalo or a wildebeest or even a scrub hare, whatever they are able to catch, I think they will be quite happy feeding on it. Sometimes if something like an elephant dies of natural causes out here, an old elephant, that meat can sit for 5-6 days rotting in the sun, and lions will still feed on that meat. So they can eat quite old rotting meat as well. I don't think it's a preferred choice of theirs, but anything that they're able to catch they will enjoy feeding on. That little youngster's having a blast playing with his older cousin's tail. So Leslie, in terms of leaving the youngsters around, the two older youngsters, the two older cubs that are about just under a year old now, they probably won't get left too often anymore. They'll be moving around with the pride majority of the time. They'll be able to keep up with the lionesses and their movements. The three smallest ones, they'll still be left every now and then, because they just won't be able to keep up with the mother and the rest of the pride. And it could be anywhere between a day, 2 days, 3 days, up to 10 days in certain circumstances. The white lioness and her sister, when they were probably similar age to these young cubs that we're looking at here, maybe 1 month older than them, they were left in a bush for 9 days in a row. And that's a very, very long time. When they came out of that bush and the pride eventually reunited with those cubs, they were very, very skinny and I think very close to death at that stage. So they were lucky that the pride returned at that time. So up to 10 days, I think, is a fair, probably the maximum where the cubs will be able to survive. See, that lioness is really not enjoying the youngster playing with their tail. Must be quite sore with those sharp teeth as well. It's not their proper teeth as of yet. They've still got their milk teeth in, but they are very, very sharp, and that's also what the mother lioness will worry about when she is being fed on. So their permanent teeth only begin to erupt at around 3 months of age, and from there they push out these deciduous teeth that eventually cause them to fall out. And those teeth, obviously, the permanent teeth are used for feeding on the different sources